Ahoy listeners, welcome to the Yonko Podcast with me, Alex Chuan, and our crew, Burke and Brock. Chapter 1035 brings us the conclusion of Sanji versus Queen and carries us through Zoro versus King. Holy hot hell, that man is attractive, on fire, and so beautiful. He's an absolute beast as well, and Zoro unfortunately is standing right in his way. Good luck, Zoro, you go, King! All this and so much more on today's episode of the Yonko Podcast. Let's jump right in. Let's set sail. Chapter 1035.
Zoro versus
Kingu. Can I just say, as much as I absolutely adore the cover art that Oda does for people,
I know we're about to go with this.
I am so fucking happy to be in another part of the canon universe and exploring the story.
Oh yeah,
Germa escaping from Whole Cake, because man, we never knew.
Okay, I was wrong. I didn't know where you're going with this.
Oh, go off.
All I gotta say about this is Oda, please, do not let Germa find a floating Pedro in the ocean. I cannot.
Good point.
Because Pound lived, and I'm okay with that. I can live with Pound living.
His neck was too thick.
Pedro needs to stay dead.
I don't think they'll find Pedro.
They better not.
I really don't think.
Or
they do find Pedro and they build him better, and he's the new Sanji Stealth Black of Germa.
Okay, not gonna lie, that'd be cool.
What a twist! Oda won't do that.
Not gonna lie.
But I do want to focus.
I actually want that to happen now.
you get fucking Pedro with swirly brows and like blonde hair coming out, like. But no suit, because we broke that suit.
No, exactly.
I really am curious what you guys think where Germa is going to lead us in this cover story. Because we're going to get a single panel, for
a while.
Maybe a while.
I remember, all my family, the last one with, obviously you had Pound and you had the Gang Beige family,
Lola and her twin and everything.
I want to say that was 40 chapters worth of content.
It was a lot. It was
like
we were getting tired of it by the end.
We were everybody I watched who wasn't us was getting tired of that by the end.
Germa's super evil. Germa's super cool. I'm a big fan of wherever this goes, as long as Germa gets out of Whole Cake.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I think they will, but I don't know where they go.
Here's the thing. Fuck Sanji's dad.
Yeah, fuck Judge, dude.
But I honestly didn't want Germa to die because Sanji, by the end of Whole Cake, didn't want Germa to die.
Right,
For sure.
and I stand Reiju hard.
Well, and also I'm and just a little quick, side thing. I love the idea that Sanji now having the power to go along with his kindness kind of maybe inspired a tiny trickle of the maybe locked away humanity in his brothers, which is why they helped him get off the island at the end.
Ah, yes, the famous Vinsmoke apology, trickle down kindness.
To be fair,
Okay.
it would be a nice parallel at the end of this cover story if, like Sanji unlocking his exoskeleton and all the good shit that Germa has, they unlocked a little bit of the good shit that Sanji
Obviously,
has.
they've done so much that just makes him hateable, but I think it'd be so cool if the supposed weakest brother influenced them to that extent.
I don't know. I've always had a little bit of not sadness, but empathy for Germa, because literally they were made to be emotionless monsters. They didn't choose that. If they had a choice,
That was all their dad.
Right, it's all Judge's fault.
Yeah.
If they had that kindness that Sanji had, maybe they'd be some pretty sick-ass characters.
No, and that's where I hope
they are
from.
sick-ass characters.
They are. Personality-wise, a pretty shit.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I have that little tiny bit of hope there that I don't think we'll ever see a full transformation, but maybe there's just a little
inkling
there.
An inkling
of some humanity there.
Yeah.
I don't
guess we'll see when they show up for the final war.
Right? The biggest question I have is, look, Germa had a place at the World Conference, right?
Real quick, I'm sorry.
What's up?
I just imagined a scene at the final war where everyone shows up, Luffy gets down, Strats! Assemble. And they all just run like Endgame.
I feel like it's a common thing whenever people do they're obviously crossover fan arts.
it seems to me that Luffy is always depicted as Captain America.
Absolutely.
So that is very applicable.
Makes sense.
Me.
Yeah.
Germa had a seat at the Reverie. They were a world government affiliated nation, just one that moved. They threw that all away for this partnership with Whole Cake. Yeah. Now that is completely burned and destroyed.
Wandering bandits.
I really do wonder what Germa's next move is. And I think long term it really could be allying with the Straw Hats because, I mean, who wouldn't want to be... If you're going to be allied with a Yonko, why wouldn't you be allied with the Pirate King eventually, right?
Well, especially because I think this is the perfect timing for this cover story to start coming into the narrative because if Luffy, which at this point, we are all kind of in agreement at this point, he's going to take down Kaido.
Yes.
I think so.
That's
if Luffy topples Kaido, he's a member of the Yonko, the current Yonko we have. Let's just say Big Mom, like we've theorized, she possibly gets away from this.
Yeah.
Luffy's a member of the Yonko if he takes down Kaido.
Yes.
He's getting a bounty raise.
That's literally how Blackbeard did it, right?
He and Blackbeard might be considered by the world government as the frontrunners to become the next pirate king.
The frontrunners of the worst generation, for sure.
Absolutely.
So why on earth wouldn't Germa want to align themselves with somebody who at least has been somewhat friendly to them in the past?
Yeah.
Went back and saved the
world. A member of their family is on his crew.
Mm-hmm.
As much as he doesn't want to be.
And that's a thing. Is that something Judge can swallow? Like that pride.
Is that something Judge can swallow? And is that something eventually Sanji can swallow if both of them lay down their pride enough to...
I think ultimately Sanji has a cop-out of he's the captain, he decides. Right? Same thing like when Drake was like, hey, can I join? I'm in a really bad situation. He was like, yeah, sure. Zoro's like, no. He's like, nah, it's cool.
I think Judge is extremely prideful, but I think he's also extremely calculating. So I can imagine him willing to side with them for the Mizunend, like that. I think Judge is very much to an extreme a means to an end kind of guy. Like that's the whole thing with his children.
Put a pin in something I might have for Judge later when we're discussing another thing that I know we're all going to discuss later. So
I do think Germa is important because, look, we were introduced to Mads. Whatever the fucking thing Queen, Vegapunk, and he were a part of. We're definitely getting more of that. Judge being one of the few remaining characters involved in that's not... and we'll get to this, still around in the story, might be the person that explains that.
very true.
Or Vegapunk.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other choice. Which, man, if we ever see him, that'll be cool. Oda.
So with the reintroduction of cover stories being actual stories that are canon, we have a lot to discuss there. So let's
we'll follow this closely, I think.
Let's get into the chapter proper here.
All right.
As a heavy blow is struck. And as we open up, first off, Brock.
This is for you, Brock.
Hats off to Brock.
Thank you.
Called it. Final.
Successfully called. And I love the way that this is framed. So, you get the tail end of Sanji's flaming kick as, Queen goes sailing through the ceiling and sailing off the side.
Hey, guys.
Completely off of Onigashima.
Dude, also, did you notice? I saw that. Did you notice? Did his hand get completely destroyed?
Yeah, that looks like a bunch of fucking smoke.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't even see that.
Something snaps, something cracks, and Queen is no longer a member of the
bubbles.
Onigashima raid.
Nope.
He is off the island. The lucky thing for him is I actually think, based on where Onigashima was, he will land on land.
Yeah. I was initially thinking, water. Okay, Queen's dead. But you are right.
No, they were close enough to the capital.
They were close enough to the fire. I think...
Before the fat island falls, the fat Queen hits the fire captain.
Hey, if he was...
It's a raining Queen!
If he got too skinny, he'd be too popular. Let off. Right?
I'm just saying, man. He's the first impact of many if it all comes down.
So
yeah.
We got that. And let's go ahead and read the dialogue before I point out the thing that I like about this.
Yeah.
So Sanji's huffing in the middle, and I forget her name.
Glance.
Glance. Squeak. Rustle.
And he picks
Squeak.
up the Chuji mouse.
Chuji, thank goodness. It was a bit dangerous back there, so I thank you so much, Squeak. That failure, he's feeding mice again. I never understood Chuji. I'll be honest with you. I never understood why there was a mouse. But that tiny panel... And
we mentioned this, though.
I know, like, I had... I don't know what it was, and maybe because there was a week in between, but I completely forgot why Chuji was an important aspect, perhaps. This made me tear up, because it reminded me that, yeah, he was feeding mice as a kid with his food, and Judge was being a piece of shit. And this is a whole circle for me. It's such a small little thing.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, that means everything to me. I love that so much.
So good.
It means everything to Sanji,
God, I know, my boy. Anyway, Miss, are you really okay? Skull Dome, Left Brain Tower, Pleasure Hall, Battle. Victor, Sanji, Thud. Someone help! He needs first aid!
What a... Just... it's just good. It's just good.
It's good end.
You know,
good end of the fight, man.
It's a good end to the fight. We can talk about shortness of fight versus longness of fight later, because we got a lot to cover in this chapter. There's going to be so much discussion here. So honestly, let's just cut ahead. All I will say is, like, this just gave me a lot of, Alabasta feels, where,
that Mr. Prince stuff, like all that.
Yeah, all that good shit. So, okay.
We cut to the outside of the Onigashima Skull.
With an emphasis on cut.
Oh, indeed we do. Slash!
Zoro gets another attack off on King, and this one severing a bit of his mask, and it seems to finally be the piece that will cause it to fall off. Just as I thought. When the flame on his back is out, he's faster, but his defenses get weaker.
And we
King
see
rips off his mask.
King's face for the very first time.
Oh no, he's hot! Sorry, had to meme that.
No way! King Sama's mask! So the rumors were true. Black wings, white hair, dark brown skin. World governments is offering 100 million berries for any information on...
And with that... King unsheathes his sword.
No, wait! We didn't mean...
Hey,
now.
And this one's Brock.
Yes.
Imperial fire. Dragon!
He shoots off a dragon reminiscent of Kaido.
Dude, that dragon is fucking
it's
dope
awesome.
looking.
It's dope as hell.
Better than anything Ace ever did.
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
Wow. Wow. Do you talk to your girlfriend like that about it?
I do.
Jesus.
It's pretty funny.
Oh.
But it's because I mourn him, and this is the only way, laughing is the only way I can remember him in the
Before we continue, I thought about that in my head the first time I read that. Like, I was only, 100 million berries, that's all you get? But that's just for info.
Yeah.
That's just info.
Yeah, that's for
You don't have to bring him in.
You don't have to do anything else but just say,
What's
hey.
King's bounty? He's less than Marco, but more than Katakuri, right?
I will look that up.
I believe
really
he's
quickly.
something billion. I know he's up there.
He's a lot.
So it's like you can tell them about King, and then you can get money, and then you can never bring in King, and you might get some money.
If this is to be believed, this is the One Piece fandom wiki. As a fighter, King is extremely powerful with his 1.39. So that's 1,390 million bounty.
Yep.
Yeah, and Katakuri was like, I think 1,029,000,000.
Something like that.
Yeah, a lot.
They were comparable on their bounties.
But yeah, no, beautiful, full cover, full art of King.
I'm so excited to see what his flames look like.
Can I be honest?
Like.
We've all seen, I think, a little bit of Castlevania, correct?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
You've.
So this gives you and me some Alucard vibes.
Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking.
I know what you're talking about.
That frilled
No,
shirt,
I know.
that white hair, like holy shit.
You didn't enjoy the series as much as us.
Yeah.
But you know who we're
But you at
talking
least
about.
I know exactly
what
what you're talking
Alucard
about.
looks like, because he's giving me Alucard vibes except black.
Right, Black Alucard, which
He's a black Alucard.
is pretty sick.
Exactly.
We move on. I'm on fire.
The castle was already an inferno, and that's also no way to treat your men. You'd be better off focusing on me than throwing a tantrum. So the government is that interested in your kind, huh? Want to tell me about your race?
Why should I bother? You'll be dead soon.
Okay. Super handsome as a human, but honestly, I think his pterodactyl form looks better with the mask on.
Dude, the hair's kind of interesting.
It's interesting. I just think it's...
Also,
I don't know.
thick-ass neck.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, anyone else getting slight Wiper vibes?
Oh, absolutely.
Skypiea?
Well,
Kinda.
that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Tattoos,
It's
dark
this-
skin.
If this is what Lunarians look like, they definitely have some of that, like...
Those traits. They have some of those traits.
Those Skypian,
Yeah.
and they can't use their wings either to fly, but they have them, right? Because King flies with his Petrodon form, but not with his normal wings.
But don't you think he can? Those wings are at least big enough I could at least see them working, whereas, like, you look at the Skypian wings...
Correct me if I'm wrong, Zoro said, was it last chapter, the chapter before, that he can't fly with those wings, but he...
He at least says he doesn't. I don't know if he says he can't. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't think you could say he can't.
I'm just going to pull up King's wiki just to be sure.
Yeah, because
whatever
the point I'm
information
making is Skypians, they have wings, but they can't use them to fly, right? And I've never seen King, and correct me if I'm wrong, fly with his normal wings, but when he's a Petrodon, he does fly.
I also imagine his Petrodon wings are stronger wings than his natural wings, too. Because, I don't know.
In the anime, King is shown to be able to fly using his feathery wings without the need of his own transformation.
Okay. Well, in any case, there's some Skypian attributes that
Absolutely.
I just think are interesting. That, too, is also very interesting to me.
For sure.
Like, Oda didn't need to draw that, so I'm curious what's up with that.
Yeah.
We continue.
Really quick, just to show you this. He flew using his normal wings against Marco.
You are right. Right. I correct myself. He seems to be able to fly with his normal wings and Petrodon form.
Okay. So we get back to that. He attacks...
Zoro and him burst out of the skull again. Dude, this skull's going to have some headaches in the morning when the dawn
It already
comes.
has so many.
There is a lot of attacks. A lot of... I don't know if it's fire he's shooting out or bullets or...
We will see.
It could be either
way,
or something else.
He's getting off plenty of attacks. Zoro's blocking, and it seems like he's getting off a few attacks in his own right.
Yeah, it's going back and forth. It's literally like a mid-air battle. Zoro's on the defensive here.
Yeah.
A lot of shit, a lot of action. We move to the next panel to some more dialogue.
I don't have much time. If we keep dragging things out, this sword will kill me.
I feel close to my limit, too.
His race being special doesn't change anything for me. We're in the same boat then. But you've had your time on top. Now you've got to make room for us. King of Hell, 3-sword style.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Kaido-san is going to be the next pirate king.
And we cut to a flashback.
This is exciting, and I didn't expect it.
But it's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Absolutely fantastic.
You're a Lunarian. The government will never let you go. I saw their experiments to test your endurance. I'm leaving this place to form my own pirate crew. So, how about it? Are you in, guinea pig?
Do you really think you'll be able to change the world?
I'm the only one who can.
The test subjects have escaped!
Your name?
Harbor.
You're too strong for a name like that. Call yourself king. Stand by me, and I'll never sell you out.
So I just noticed the first time I read this, whatever scans were originally on Reddit before it got, destroyed. The first scans I read, it translated as Albert. I have also seen, besides now just reading it, that the translation could have also been Arbor. So either way, interesting name for king.
From today onwards, you're my right-hand man.
And we cut back and
to the fight.
As King contemplates, and then Zoro finally puts off Purgatory Onigiri! And, he gets a nice slash off.
Or he thinks.
It's a good slash.
Very nice.
Obviously, King dodges it. The fire is burning, so that didn't make a scratch.
Imperial Dragon Fire!
Those flames,
are like magma.
Oh, he's having an ace moment there.
God damn it. Ugh.
Not quite the same end result, though.
I'm curious to see if the anime actually creates like a magma look to these things.
I bet it will.
Akin to
I bet it
Akainu.
will.
And then we get back to
We get a really nice
Super
shot of them meeting and clashing
slash.
in midair. And as
Zoro's three swords all black, King's sword opening up with the divots.
That again.
And a really solid use, I'm thinking, of Conqueror's Haki there.
Absolutely.
That breaks the two apart.
no, exactly. Like that look in Zoro's eye, and then the look that then matches from King's in the reverse shot.
Yeah.
I won't let you take away my named blades. And we get this crackle of what, like we just said, we assume is Conqueror's Haki on Zoro's part.
I don't know if it's just Zoro, but it looks like mostly Zoro.
I think it's Zoro using it to repulse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like repel himself away.
Yeah.
Super solid.
Because the implication here is it looks like he rolls a couple of times and then lands upright.
Like a donut.
Stop!
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Ace.
He sped up. That means
Kicked in the face!
Boom!
Boom!
Gets kicked in the side of the face by King.
I can cut him. Bird dance.
Ooh, really solid hit there on King. Dude, shit.
You've caught on to how my powers work.
That's right. Ready to admit you're beaten?
And like he keeps on deflecting more blows from King.
They're heavy fucking blows.
This like I love this chapter. There's so much good shots happening here that I just cannot wait to see animated.
Oh my god, so true.
You're blocking now. Thought you said my attacks had no effect. You seem scared now.
And it seems like there's a good amount of blood coming out of King there too.
Yeah.
Like he's not feeling awesome.
Your kind is too inferior for you to have a prayer against me.
That's the kind of thinking I hate most.
I remember you as a decent swordsman. Is next one me or is it Zoro?
I think it's Zoro.
If you survive me, I'll scar you so bad that you'll never forget.
Imperial Guardian Fire Dragon!
And as Zoro rushes at the dragon, King of Hell, or, I assume also it could be read as Enma 3 Dragon style, 103 senses, Soren Jigoku Dragon!
And he cuts the dragon, he cuts it again, and he cuts King, his wing, and his fucking sword in half.
Yep.
Even dragons can be slayed with a single swing. Chapter 1035.
I never noticed that.
End.
The sword?
So, like, no. The sword, I noticed. I never noticed that the caption read that at the end. The dragons can be slayed with a single swing.
I told you about it last night.
I missed it. I thought it was a part of the dialogue when we were talking about it. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
So
No,
Jikoku is a high-class samurai, but sounds like hell.
Yeah,
That's just a fun play on words there.
Welcome to Jigoku.
I wonder if this will satisfy, and you guys are both Zoro fans, like his need. Everyone's thought that, he has to slay a dragon in Wano, right? If this kind of satisfies that for you. In a sense.
I mean,
he's literally slaying a dragon.
I'm willing to say he's stronger than a dragon.
For sure. My thing...
Technically killed one in Punk Hazard, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? Like, everyone thought he was going to kill Kaido, the dragon, right?
I was always iffy on that.
I like the slicing of a dragon.
As an evolving Zoro fan, where like he's not necessarily like my favorite anymore, but he's still one of those people like I'm absolutely gonna root for to get awesome things like Conqueror's Haki.
Yeah.
It's never been imperative for me that Zoro kill a dragon. Like I already know he's strong as is. I don't need him to kill a dragon. Like the fact that he was already confirmed to most likely have scarred Kaido, and now he gets to kill an apparition of Kaido, essentially. Like, that's the whole thing.
Made out of magma.
Like, made out of magma.
Yeah.
Because King obviously modeled this whole thing off of Kaido's version of a dragon.
Yeah, man. Akinu's shaking in his fucking boots.
I mean, we could hope. But all that to say, just... What an end to this.
I gotta say,
I want so much more about King, but I don't think it'll come from King. I think it'll come from Kaido.
Kaido backstory. I think Kaido backstory ties in Jack, Queen and King all together, I think.
Yeah.
When he builds his crew from his initial, lead performers.
And I'm just going to forewarn people who are listening, this discussion is going to go all over the place because this chapter has my brain going in so many different directions, and I know it's doing the same to both of you because, first off, the common joke has just been like, Act 3 will never fucking end. And I am actually, I used to be of the opinion that Act 3 was just going to be the finale of Wano, essentially. And, obviously, Act 3 has gone on longer than... I think somebody did the numbers, and Act 3 has technically gone on longer than Whole Cake in the manga.
Yeah.
Act 3 alone, which is insane to me.
Well, it's a big arc.
It's a huge arc, and that's fine, because obviously we've got a war level with 2 Yonko.
Yeah.
I am trying to get my thoughts in order here so I can continue this conversation. I think we are actually leading to an end to Act 3, if you ask me. I actually think there will be an end to Act 3, and in the same vein as the end of Act 2, beginning of Act 3, we got Odin'S Flashback. I think either the end of Act 3 or the beginning of Act 4 will be the Kaido Flashback.
Do you think Kaido Flashback before or after Beat Kaido?
I think before.
If Beat Kaido.
Because, Doflamingo's, if I remember in manga and anime, Doflamingo's flashback was before beating Doflamingo.
It really depends on the flow of the combat.
Absolutely.
It changes a lot with different villains. Sometimes you'll have them where it's most suitable for it to happen before the fight. It's most suitable when it happens at a certain turn of events in the middle of the fight. Or sometimes it'll happen as the foe is finally falling. Well, he'll fall slowly, have a flashback, and then it's done.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how Oda draws it and how it goes. And honestly, I could imagine it going any one of those 3 ways.
Absolutely.
And I think just because Oda's being very consistent with how he's doing this, Sanji beat his guy, Zoro beat his guy.
We will get in the next chapter, it will confirm that Zoro beat him, which
I usually do think. There's a lot of stuff to cover up, and I'll get to that later. But I do think I think Act 3 is the final official act. I think Kaido will be beaten at the end of this act. I think there'll be an epilogue.
Okay.
Because that's
end of Wano, party of the
epilogue,
times.
essentially. I think that'll be how
whatever
it goes.
it ends up being.
But
not an Act 4.
I don't think there's going to be an entire... I don't think we have we might.
I know Kabuki plays generally go in 6, which is what everyone was saying was going to happen.
Everybody was saying was 5 was what they were...
Was it 5?
Yeah. There's still a lot. There might be surprises. We still got the Navy
World
waiting.
government, right?
We don't know.
Freeing Wano.
For all we know, Wano may go into a whole other thing.
Because, you had all these people talking about the 5-act structure and that they all kept on anticipating a tragedy to end Act 3. What if the tragedy of Act 3 is the world government coming in after the fall of Kaido? This thing that should be a phenomenal, amazing thing for the people of Wano, and that gets crushed by the evil regime that is the world government coming in and essentially just absorbing Wano.
Could they take Wano that quickly though?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if Straw Hats after Kaido's beaten, if we can fight off world government too, or if we just gotta get that poneglyph and head out and let Momo and everyone and the samurai
deal with
that.
The repercussions.
Because Luffy's going to protect Momo, but he's a giant fucking ass dragon. You think the fucking world government's gonna be like, kill the dragon?
I think
he's a dragon coming.
Here's the thing.
They don't know he's a kid.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of individuals in the world government that can kill a dragon with these. Let's be real.
I only say that it might be a threat because Kaido was the last dragon, and they didn't go fucking near it. And if Kaido falls and there's a new dragon, it's like, we'll save fucking the situation. I'm not saying it's truly a threat, but it could be enough of a facade to be like, all right, now fuck out of my country.
Honestly, here's the thing: is
the alternative is they take over.
This arc It has a lot of inward similarities with a lot of other arcs, but as a whole, it's a standalone, new to the series type arc because, for all I can tell, it's leading straight into the next arc. Like, unlike pre-time skip and even a few arcs after this, Oda started making it where the arcs are bleeding into each other.
A little bit.
It's no longer like, oh, we're done with this, we'll sail for a little bit, some side
Zoe
quests.
and the whole cake
Now it's like all literally connecting, and I feel like it's just going to keep going like that. You know.
You don't think they'll just go off and find the next island now? It's Poneglyph.
I think we're past that.
Well, that's the thing, right? We get Kaido's Poneglyph. Mm-hmm. We have 3.
Yeah.
We need to find the 4th.
Yes.
Someone either has to give the information to where the 4th is, or they have to run into it.
Well, here's the thing. I honestly, and this is a really big. I wouldn't call it tinfoil. I think it's very possible, but I think it's a very big.
'Tis a theory.
It's a very big theory, a very overarching theory. I do think through their interaction with the government at the end of Wano, Luffy will learn of Sabo's supposed fate or potential fate, and I think this will lead to a potential saving Sabo arc, redemption arc for what happened to Ace.
Luffy gets the paper that the rest of the world has already read about
Or
the
he gets it through the government.
Well, that's how he got it with Ace, right?
He might,
it was a paper
like,
that made it to Amazon.
Fucking what are they called? CP0.
Yes.
There, who are directly involved in whatever happened to Sabo. I'm guessing.
Well, they would know.
They would know, and they may taunt him like, "Oh, like your other brother is going to fucking die," or whatever, because that'd be something.
He's gonna die, bitch.
That's something Lucci would fucking do.
Lucci's a piece
He was
of shit
like, you're not gonna save these. You know, in the end, you can't save anyone. You were gonna say something, Burke? Sorry, what's up? You had your finger up.
Yeah. Is there any indication, in you guys' opinion, that the revolutionaries could possibly come in
to Wano?
To Wano.
Now here's the thing about that.
Oh my god.
Back this up.
Here's the thing about that. I think
everyone is here.
I think we don't. Okay, with revolutionaries, we don't need an indication because they always appear out of nowhere. It's never happened where it's like, oh, like the only time that we get like a revolutionary preset
preview
is when we see the storm coming and then dragons there. That's the only times we get that.
Or like when
usually they're
gathered the commanders to go and attack Rebel.
Exactly, but even the way they travel, one can fly, one can go underground. You know, it's like they just pop up where they're. That I can totally see them popping up where they're needed and being like, "You guys got to go. We'll handle things here."
Here's my thing. I think there needs to be if the Straw Hats are going to hold Wano off from being absorbed by the world government.
Yeah,
they need one more band of reinforcements to come, whether that's the Grand Fleet or whether that's the revolutionaries.
Also, real quick, here's something we can also take into account. I think we're also generalizing too much on saying that the world government as a whole is the bad thing here.
No, for sure.
But real quick, just let me finish the thought.
Okay.
Maybe it will be because like here's the thing. I don't think that the first thing the world government's going to do when they come in is they're going to just shackle everyone and like kill them. They're going to negotiate. They're going to be like, these are the terms. You want to join the thing, you know?
With who?
And like, here's the thing. What?
With who?
With whoever the representatives are after the current ones are down.
Orochi, right? It's up there. Momo's a dragon.
No, but here's the thing. Momo, I'm sure, will turn back.
But I'm saying like all the leadership of Wano's on Onigashima.
No, it's going to happen after Onigashima.
Okay, so this all gets resolved. They come down.
They're not coming in until Kaido's done.
World government's waiting to talk to whoever.
They're waiting for the end of the conflict so they can come in, take out who's there.
Gotcha.
No, this isn't. They're not going to get in the middle of the fight. That's a waste of their resources.
Right. Okay.
No. Anyways, no. I'm thinking that they're going to come in and there's going to be talks. And I think Momo, whose dream is always has been to open up the gates of Wano, and for the safety of the Straw Hats and for the safety of his people, will have to make some hard moments and maybe join the world government as one of their places. But, in the long short of it, the world government doesn't treat those loyal to it badly unless they're directly in the way of their goals.
Right.
But I do think they may have to come under their control for now. But I think there's plenty of good people under the world government that'll help in the end.
I think at the end of the day...
Because I think it's a matter of taking out the rotten head.
Sure.
And
which is Orochi. And Kaido.
Orochi, well, I'm talking also world government.
But at the end of the day, right, Nefertari, Cobra, is the head of Alabasta, right?
Yeah.
All of these kings that Riku, all of them,
yeah.
they're the heads of these islands. They're great people.
I don't think
being world government affiliated isn't necessarily meaning your island's evil. You're just affiliated with a really fucking...
Yeah, I don't think here's the thing. I don't think the world government needs to come crumbling down. I think we need to get rid of the Tenryubito and the people that support them.
And Im?
And I don't fuck. We don't know him well enough.
Well, if he
we need to see.
Tenryubito,
we need to see what his deal is first and why he does what he does. Maybe he's waiting for something.
He do, right?
We don't even know what he looks like. But right now, I think the Straw Hats will be a bit too weak after this fight to be able to fight off the world government.
Super agree.
But here's one of my theories. I think this is one of the more likely ones. Momo and the remainder or all of the sheaths, depends on what happens, they'll be like, listen, you guys got to go.
The scabbards.
Scabbards. Listen, you guys got to go. We'll handle this, But I don't think it's going to be like a Last Samurai scene. It's going to be like...
It'd be cool.
We'll talk,
Right.
It'd be a waste of time. It would be such a waste if that happened, though.
That's again, like the world government doesn't take over islands; they just establish rulers that are affiliated with them.
Exactly.
Right, and there's not like historically.
And I think it helps in their favor that Momo is now older.
Yeah, and there's not a Tenryubito, right? That's from Wano who gave it to another royal family, right? That whole 20 families up at Marijois. Yeah. I don't know what it looks like when they take over.
It also depends
isolated
and it also depends on who's leading the forces into it.
It seems very new, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I like your idea of Momo being like the peacemaker, the diplomacy maker.
Well, I mean, he's amateur. He's going to need help.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, and this isn't even about Momo.
Yeah.
This is actually about the fact that the Kazuki clan, Wano, made the poneglyphs. I just can't. I can't, in good faith, trust that the world government wouldn't come in and start searching for any poneglyphs, any ties to that, any ties to the old world, to the Void Century, all that stuff.
To be fair, Burke, they wouldn't really... Besides Kaido's shit, right, is one that isn't, and then the one that is, right? And that other one in the flower capital that Orochi has.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever that. There's 3 that we know of. Or 2 that we know of, one that should be there, right? The road poneglyph. Momo doesn't read it.
No.
Odin didn't teach him. And he's the only Kazuki besides Hiyori, who I also don't think knows how to... Well, she could, actually, right?
Who knows?
Well, why would he pass it on to her and not his son, right?
Or Toki, if you...
he's the older brother. She was even younger than him when that all happened, so she definitely doesn't know it, right?
Anyway, if your theory is correct, then that might also be Toki.
What, Toki's back?
Mm-hmm.
As we get farther away from that chapter, it just seems less and less likely, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But I'll hold on to a trend.
I'm just giving if you are correct and that is Toki...
Oh, she knows a lot.
Being from the Void Century, she'd be... that's the other thing.
Oh, she'd be worth more than Robin.
Yes.
Definitely more than this Lunarian.
Yeah.
Lunarian guy.
The Lunarians.
Lunarians, right in that
Mr. Tumnus King.
Tumnus King.
I do have to give a shout out to Grish and all of the people who put art in here, Woden creative. Dear God, you guys did a great job on the art this chapter.
I freaking love that final, the slicing dragon panels.
Also, I've been going through Zoro's flight path, if you would, and it does seem like this last attack took him off of Onigashima. So I don't know where he's heading.
Could have possibly, I don't know.
No, so if you look, King's floating, right, and he sends this magma dragon. Zoro runs, cuts through all of it off of Onigashima. And you can see him below King just falling down. The colors actually help if you look at that panel. Because there's Zoro going down.
Maybe.
But again, lands...
he's done his thing. So.
I'm sure if Sanji goes, oh, wait, I can regenerate, I'm fine. And then goes and fucking...
we don't even need that.
I know. Well, he's not getting... Well, maybe he just shoots a blast and repels him.
We'll see after. Perspective is a weird thing in comics.
Well, especially in anime.
Well, this leads to my predictions. this leads to a prediction of mine, which I think if we're ready we can jump into, unless we want to talk about anything else in the chapter.
I have so much more to talk
go
about,
off, Burke.
guy.
We'll get back to predictions in a bit.
I mean, like I said, we're going to be going
We're going to be going all over the place.
Do your thing. Skip.
Alex, I don't know if you know this.
I might not.
But the minute that Kaido was introduced, when he threw himself off of that Sky Island all that time ago,
made of balloons.
After the fall of my personal favorite warlord, Doflamingo.
Yes, indeed.
The minute that happened, he already had the potential to be my favorite antagonist in that moment. Which I don't know if you know that.
No,
he was currently like just below Doflamingo. But as of this chapter, as of this glimpse into Kaido and what I can glean about Kaido...
About backstory?
Yeah. I think he has the absolute capacity to surpass Doflamingo for me. And that is, I am fascinated by characters who almost seem to defy destiny or want to defy destiny in some way or seek their destiny, get smacked down in their pursuit of said destiny, and then make their own destiny against somebody else, is what I am gathering from this. And we've mentioned this before in that I believe at this point, Kaido at one point thought he was Joy Boy. Thought he was the one who was going to find the One Piece, was going to change the world. He clearly says in this chapter, I'm the only one who can change the world. This guy, and you know, do you notice that smile, that face? That is a young Roger, that is Luffy energy that man is exuding. He wanted so much more from his life.
He seemed a lot happier.
He was so much happier. He was so much more hopeful for the things he was going to do.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And something happened to him. I don't know what it was. I want to know what it was, because ever since then, he's bitter. He literally, like when he threw Luffy off of Onigashima and said, you couldn't possibly be Joy Boy. He was upset.
Yeah.
He was devastated.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. He's so interesting to me because of the fact that at this point, because destiny wasn't kind to him, now he's going to be a bitch to whoever's destiny it is. He's going to be a dick to whoever's destiny it is. And that's why he's running everybody through the ringer right now.
There's a couple of very key points that I want to specifically talk about in that flashback, because I agree, it's an incredibly interesting back story that is infinitely more interesting because we've got literally nothing from Kaido up to this point. Like, I think this is the first real big chunk flashback with Kaido doing something besides all the others.
We've gotten clues, but this is the first big...
But this is before Wano. This is him building his crew. There's a few things I want to talk about. So
this is probably right after Rock's separation.
Either right after or before.
So I saw their experiments to test your endurance. He's wearing chains in this panel, which leads me to believe he was being experimented on just the same, right? He says, I'm the one who can. There's a destroyed and wrecked facility behind them. From today onwards, you're my right-hand man. Like, this is literally Roger meets Rayleigh. This is Luffy meets Zoro. This is, Shanks meets fucking... Ben Beck. Well, Yasop, right? Where he actually goes down and goes, hey, join my crew. I don't know if he has... Does he have a Ben Beckman one where he, points at him and says...
We haven't seen that, but Beckman is his right hand.
Oh, right, of course. But, it's one of those, I'm gathering people. He's in a government facility. Kaido's been beaten before. He's been chained up before. Nothing takes, right? The CP0 was talking about doing some shit with his DNA. That's how they got the Momonosuke fruit, right?
Yeah.
This is obviously one of, if not the first examples of that. And from it comes Kaido and his right-hand man, Arbor, or whatever King's name is.
Arbor.
I really like the name Arbor. I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty freaking badass. I know nothing about him. But, yeah. The dude seems like he's got a grand vision. And he's fucking psyched for it. He's no longer under the thumb of rocks, we can assume. He's out on his own, doing his own shit. But this is the really important bit. And I really want to draw some attention to this. Where is it? Stand by me and I'll never sell you out. That leads me to believe someone sold him out and he will never... Like maybe his captain or something. Something happened right before this that made Kaido feel like he wasn't part of Inner Circle. And now he's going to make his own fucking crew, his own Inner Circle.
My thinking is that, well, for one, we got to remember Kaido was like the young member. He was the rookie
he was
of
the
the group. And also, I do believe after they were beaten, I could see him being captured. Maybe left to die by the others. Who knows? But, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to see the...
I bet you those are sea stone cuffs, and I bet he has his dragon fruit by this point.
Who knows?
No, I'm sure of it.
I don't know.
Because Big Mom said, hey, I saved you that day when rocks fell. I gave you that fish fruit. And that was the big thing he owed her. And he didn't go off into any more of that. That's all we got.
Yeah.
But I bet that's what let him live. And then the world government got him into this whole situation. I bet those were sea stone cuffs to stop him from transforming into a dragon. But he's still fucking strong as shit. He can walk around just like Luffy and fucking Kid were in the Udon prison, right? Very interesting shit. Yeah. This is precipice for what is to come, I think, for Kaido. And I'm really fucking pumped for it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay. You have another point? Burke, you want to talk about?
I think I'm good.
Brock?
There was just a lot of Kaido stuff.
And there was a small part of the chapter too, but so much.
I wanted to relay, because you asked me pre-recording.
Yes.
Something that would piss me off.
Yes.
You asked me if that would piss me. You told me that it would piss me off that the Raizo fight is still going.
Oh.
Now,
after seemingly King has been defeated.
Here's my thing about it.
Okay.
The more I thought about it these past couple weeks.
Happier I've been.
Huh?
The happier you've been.
Well, it's not just that. If what I'm thinking is going to happen, kind of like generally is going to happen. Once again, I do think it's going to get caught up in Orochi's shit. I think it's going to be turned to kind of like a big old final Wano side to it, because we got the Pirate King side fight, and then we got the Wano side. Because here's the thing. The more I thought about it, as much as I hate Orochi, the fact of the matter is he is legitimately a major villain of this arc.
Yeah, he just is
this shit started with him. He's the one that got Kaido into it with connections. He's the one that gave shit to Kaido, gave him weapons, all that kind of shit. Kaido got the strength in the end. But a lot of the shit wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Orochi. He's insane, but he's also a clever little fucker.
He's the reason Odin's dead.
So that's why I do think Orochi, as much as Kaido, not in the same kind of vein, needs a final defeat, an epic final defeat for this arc, because they are both major villains for this arc in their own way. He's a major political villain. Mm-hmm. Kaido's a major battle villain, a major war.
It's like
villain.
Akainu and Im, if Im's not powerful.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean. And like, there's two sides to that, and I think we need to get a suitably good end to Orochi, whatever that may be, and that's why I think the Raizo fight and why it's taking so long. I think that's either going to be it's taking long because it's going to reveal some endgame information for the arc, or it's going to bleed into what's happening with Orochi.
And if it doesn't do either of those things,
I don't know. I can't predict the future.
Will you be pissed off if it's just like it ends next in one panel?
I mean,
you want there to be something bigger with it.
Oh, I mean, I imagine there is. There doesn't seem like there'd be a reason for it to last this long, other than that, you know. But like, here's the thing, especially Fukurokuju. He is deeply tied to the history of Wano.
Yeah.
He's been a retainer since before Orochi.
Yeah.
So he knows everything that's gone on in the castle. He
served Odin's dad, right?
He served all this shit. He knows probably all there is to know about what's happened behind those castle walls through each regime. And that's why I think we can get some good some good finale Wano backstory out of Fukurokuju in combination with Orochi's reappearance.
It's like some flashback shit.
Maybe we'll see, or maybe a reason. Maybe there's a reason beyond just blind loyalty that he's serving Orochi. I don't know, but I feel like there's a reason that fight is being held off.
There really should be.
If not, I mean, I'll accept it. It's Oda. It's his thing. But I think we're gonna get something logistical or story wise out of it.
Fair enough. I will say I liked the ending of the King fight a tiny bit more than I liked the ending of Sanji's fight. Still really enjoyed the ending there.
Oh,
I wasn't disappointed that Queen didn't show any Reiju powers. I imagine there's a reason for that, which if that's not revealed, that's okay. It's fine. But if it is, I'll be like, cool, there's a reason. Great. But no, I thought Queen might have something left. And he kind of leaves the scene, in my opinion, as still a pretty mysterious character.
Well, yeah, we didn't get really a backstory with him.
Again,
besides...
and we still might, which is why I don't want to judge the chapter based on that, but I think that would be my only short-term disappointment.
There's also maybe Reiju's powers come into play with his plague shit.
I don't know. I feel like it's different enough.
Because here's the... What?
I feel like it's different enough. I don't know.
Maybe, but like
he used the attacks of the brothers, right?
Yeah. But I mean, Reiju's also wasn't so much like a full frontal offense type power as it was more like a support / flyer power.
You know, she was a part of the Germa tech, right? And if Queen's going to show off all of the Germa tech for Sanji to defeat, it makes sense that he wouldn't defeat his sister. He would defeat his brother's abilities, right? That's what makes the most sense. But I am curious. I'd say that's the word I would use.
And there might be, but it might also have something to do with the reason that Reiju was set apart from the other three.
I think so. Well, she was born first, right? She was born far before, they were.
But also, concerning the ways that Sanji and Zoro ended their fights, it kind of went back to what I said. Not kind of. It really went back to what I said, where... given how they fight, Sanji's end tend to be combos and flurries.
Oh, I love his last few.
And Zoro's like the way, like, and this goes for all of Zoro's fights. Basically, is like he doesn't get a lot of hits in, but when he hits, he fucking hits.
Oh, he hits very hard. No, yeah.
And that's like if you remember, Pika fight is a great example. Pika didn't hit Zoro once for one.
Well, he's a stupid giant.
And then
he's just annoying.
Zoro hit him like 3 times, and
well,
it was done.
All he had to do was hit him, right? That was the thing. He was hitting a statue the majority of the time.
Well, I know, but he hit him 3. He hit his body 3 times.
He's a big, strong man, but he was hiding in a bunch of fucking rocks the whole time. That's why he was big, strong man.
Well, I mean, he
also had a sword for some reason.
He could do full code hockey though.
He was
there's plenty to him that was strong.
The same way that Virgo could, right? And that was Sanji's fight, right?
Virgo was super powerful.
That's the comparison, and it's a good thing that Law took him out because he could have been a real fucking problem.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say any disappointment comes with Sanji's conclusion. Like, I feel like Sanji had a full fucking arc there. He fought his family, he fought himself, the internal struggle. I am very satisfied with, like, Sanji.
Also, I think another reason, and this is maybe me putting words in your mouth, and
go off
if it happens, but
I'll let you know.
I think it's a lot harder, from what I see, to properly draw kick fights as opposed to sword fights. You know, and that's why we don't usually see how good that shit is until the anime.
Let me clarify, because I see what you're saying. I loved Sanji in this fight.
Oh, sure.
I thought everything was fan-fucking-tastic. The only minor disappointment, which can be fixed later, is on the antagonist side. Queen got less full character, in my opinion, than King did, which is why I was a little bit more satisfied with King's ending. Just the flashback at the end with King and everything in Kaido, right? How it all came to be. Queen is leaving Onigashima very much thrown off of it. Beautiful fucking kick, which I cannot wait to see in the anime. Just a little bit more of a mystery. And again, that can be changed in another few chapters if we get a little bit more. But right now, that's the only side of it. I love what my boy did. He went through a hell memory time. And I thought he did awesome. Zoro did awesome. Very happy with the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Just King, I thought, was a little more full characterized than Queen.
But I think the point to Queen was his association with Judge and
right.
the Mets.
Well, and I think it was said to be a little disappointing because Sanji doesn't give a shit. Yeah. You're not going to fulfill anything, Queen, by attacking this guy who just breaks the suit in front of you. Yeah. You're just not. So.
But it was good.
I liked Queen for a very long time. I still do. I just wish I was given a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We might. I think I agree that we'll see Queen, a lot more Queen. Just kind of with Dofi, we'll see a lot of the underlings' progression in relation to his flashback type thing, and also we might see a bit more Queen in relation to Vegapunk, Caesar, or maybe whoever was involved in that shit.
We might even see, some cover stories of the Beast Pirates after their defeat, like we did with CP9, right?
Yeah.
Those cover stories where they were all off doing different things.
The first thing we see is King on an island, zoom, 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 zoom,
Queen.
Queen, sorry.
King just has a complete inverse.
King got amnesia from Zoro slicing his wing off and now he does the zoom dance.
But no, all that to say that leads into my predictions, if you'll allow me.
Do it.
Zoro, I think, is falling, but it's like left skull, brain tower, right, winner. Zoro next chapter. I think we confirm that before the next thing. Oh. Do we go to Luffy? I feel like not.
Aegis?
I feel like we hold off on Luffy until everything else is Aegis, Fukurokoju, Orochi.
What? So
right?
If I can
Blob Monster, fucking
if I can go
Yamato,
Lawn Kid,
fucking Marco, fucking Lawn Kid and Big Mom, bro.
If I think
where's her boat?
if I can
go off.
I think. I can't speak for all of the fights.
No, obviously.
But usually what happens
choose, right?
in big Straw Hat fighting arcs like this happened in Alabasta, happened in Eddie's Lobby. Yeah. Usually what happens is everyone but Luffy gets their fight done.
Yeah.
Luffy's big fight starts happening, and we do big chunks of the fight, but also all the smaller shit happening underneath to finish things up. Okay. That's usually how it goes. And that's going to be my assumption until Oda decides... Nope, we're going to do it differently this time.
All right.
All
right. Here's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Zoro falling off Onigashima, a winner.
I agree it's going to start with I think it's going to start the way this one started.
He wins.
Zoro's victory.
And then let's chill with Orochi and Toki / Yuri.
Do you think there's any possibility that Kaido can see King falling? Or is he out of sight with that, do you think? What do you think?
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
If he sees both of his, superstars falling off of either side of the island.
That'd be super fucking cool.
But is he too wrapped up with Luffy now that Luffy's back?
We'll see.
The last time he tried to pursue someone Yamato, he got kind of choked out a little bit. Because Luffy did the leg thing.
I like that idea, though, Brock, because I almost would love it.
A little human side?
A little human side. A little bit of callback to the Katakuri kind of thing, where all of a sudden he also sees, not only is this little punk standing up to me, but the people under him are beating my people.
Yes.
He did stand up for Jack. Jack, you are strong.
Yeah.
And I won't let you keep hitting him, but they're just a lot stronger, right?
Yeah.
He stood up for one of his...
the one that honestly gets bullied the most.
I do believe to this day he will never sell them out. So I think he has a true respect for his strong commanders.
If we get a human moment like that for Kaido to save both of his guys, I
wouldn't say save.
Ooh.
I think we get an even more human moment of Luffy waiting for Kaido to do that.
That'd be cool.
Where he's like, yeah, go ahead, get your guys.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean
I'll go get Zoro.
That's something Luffy could understand.
I like that.
Yeah, and there'd be kind of a common ground for those two enemies at that point, and they can
restart their fight again.
There'd be a bit more mutual respect there as well.
Right, and then I think that could give us some cutbacks to Queen Flashback, King Flashback as he's saving them.
I love when a plan comes together.
And then Luffy's just sort of like, yeah, you go rescue your Shit, Zoro. Like,
we'll see.
if he's falling.
Yeah.
Again, positioning's weird.
And then, I mean, none of that might even happen. We'll see. But that'd be really
I
cool.
really like that. I'm just gonna stick with my very simple, like, Zoro's falling, he wins, and let's catch up with Hiyori/Toki/Orochi next chapter.
Yeah.
From crazy action to, like, maybe some really solid conversational pieces between those two. And then maybe Kyoshiro reveal at the end of that.
Oh, yeah, he exists.
Some fucking where.
There's so many elements.
There are.
There's so many working pieces.
I mean, someone's got to go get fucking, the other half of... God, it's been so long.
Kinemon?
Jesus, yes. Kinemon and Kiku, right? Someone's got to go get them.
Yeah, that was a chapter I was mad about. What
his
the
fucking
fuck is the resolution for that one?
His ass was pleading for help. Go get my body. Go get Kiku. Also, fucking...
Also, I think
Kanjuro's not dead yet. Oh, and he created a fire monster. Fuck. Okay, Brock, what do you want? Next chapter. No break, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have heard, before we do
Go
that,
ahead.
speaking of breaks, so we're going to get our chapter next week, and then we're going to have 2 weeks break.
Oh, yeah, because it's Christmas Kentucky Fried Chicken time in Japan.
This is true.
They love their Kentucky Fried Chicken
No, I know that.
for Christmas.
I do remember hearing that.
Love
Yeah,
that
we're
tradition.
gonna have 2 weeks off, so I have some ideas that we can do for that.
Or we'll just spend time with family. Don't expect anything. But we might surprise you.
Anyway, go Brock.
But I think
Puh.
it's boo. It's
you-
B-U-U. That's the sound for a fart. It's boo.
Boo!
God.
You just said but, so I had to put it in there.
Anyways, my prediction. Yeah, I agree with the Zoro. Ends with Zoro victory. The announced victor would make sense given what just happened in the previous chapter and the end.
The cut wing, bro. Like, that's...
Cut wing, cut sword.
Cut sword, 6 slashes across his fucking chest.
Like, I don't know where the Conqueror's hockey ends and the blood begins there on that head. Like, it's really
It's all intermingled.
It's really sick.
It's awesome. No, it's super sweet.
It's such a sick ending.
But
God,
so I think Zoro. I think what we just came up with is a really cool idea, and I think it has a good chance of happening. But I think my standing thought will be Zoro wins. I do think I would like to think that Kaido will at least see his officers' defeats. How he'll react, I don't know. Because he's been with them for a long time, and they're super fucking tough. So who knows? Because he probably doesn't have to worry about them falling into the sea. But anyway, I do think he'll see them defeated. I think he'll reevaluate the Straw Hats and potentially Luffy as a leader. Now Luffy's come back alive because even Kaido wasn't convinced he's going to come back alive.
Right.
I don't think we're going to get a lot of fight out of that right now.
No.
I think we're going to get a little, realization, well, guess it's us. Well, shit. And then I think I'm going to go along with, the general Oda formula of bits and pieces of the main fight going to other things. In this case, we'll probably see a bit more of Kid and Law versus Big Mom, because that feels very relevant to the current situation with the officers being taken out. And if anything besides that, either a Kyoshiro reveal or maybe a look at what's going on with Aegis. And that is where I stand. Burke.
Berkey boy.
So, same thing as you guys, just because we got it at the beginning of this chapter with Sanji. It's just going to make sure that anybody who is questioning somehow that King could still be in this fight, then we get confirmation next time, whether it's by a text bubble or what, if it's one of the Marys confirming it for the rest of Onigashima. Either way.
To be clear, I do think Zoro and Sanji are also both done here. I mean, they
Yeah.
win,
No,
but
exactly. they're done.
No, they're tired, dude.
done.
They're fucking...
I'm worried about Zoro because he's already got a lot of pain coming because of the pill.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
And if he is falling,
Zoro's gonna be post Thriller Bark levels.
Yeah.
Like down.
you know, Marco was investigating a lot of banging. It would be kind of interesting if he picked up Zoro again. I'm not saying he will, but
I don't think he's in a position that he can do that right now.
last time we saw him, he was flying away from the live floor somewhere with
Yeah,
Isho.
but so like that's in the center basically.
I don't know. I don't know what he was investigating, so I'm just
I know.
putting it
No,
out
I
there.
know. I just feel like that was like what 2 chapters ago, 3 chapters ago.
Who knows what'll end
I
up.
feel like with
And
that,
again, I don't even know if he's falling. I'm just assuming.
Yeah,
no,
we'll see.
I actually kind of lean more towards thinking that he's falling at this point because yeah, that is a interesting angle there. I think I'm gonna lean more towards. I would love for Kaido to see his other 2 All-Stars defeated and maybe have a reaction to it.
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna get that.
Yeah.
But I would love it if we did.
For
But
sure.
I don't think we're going to get that personally.
Yeah.
I do think we are going to focus back on Kid and Law against Big Mom again. And maybe a couple of other small side things. Like, it's just so hard at this point. Like, I want them to cut back to Luffy because Luffy is my boy at this point.
Yeah.
Luffy is my absolute favorite character. If like you weren't aware of that by now, Alex. Like I may be a Zoro fanboy, but Luffy is my guy.
Hashtag Straw Hat Burke.
He's straight up. That's what I go by nowadays on every other system. I want to see Luffy, and my gut just keeps telling me I'm not gonna get more Luffy for just a little bit longer. Like, more of what I want.
It'd be nice to flash to him before the break, but maybe not a whole chapter.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Cliffhanger Luffy?
As long as it's not the cliffhanger.
That would suck, but...
As long as it's not the cliffhanger where he was falling off said cliff.
Like, if it's just him...
That cliffhanger was too much for me.
If it's him and Kaido, and then we cut to, like, a smoky Luffy, and then Kaido, and then there's, like... Maybe his eye comes out of the smoke, and then that's the cliffhanger, like new form or some shit. I'm down. Or just nothing. Oda, do that or nothing.
Super Saiyan D Luffy.
Super D Saiyan. But yeah, okay. So Luffy is what you're.
So no.
Oh.
I'm saying, if anything, we get a small flash to Luffy, and I think honestly the best way to do that would be for Kaido to see King and Queen both defeated. We won't get much more of like their fight and or truce if they decide to go that direction. We won't get too much of that. I think we're gonna honestly end up focusing more on Law and Kid and a couple of other small things / maybe a big thing. We'll see.
Do you think Hawkins is done, or do you think he's gonna wait?
Hawkins is down. Hawkins is done.
It's sad for me because he's
No,
kind of my boy.
He's a very cool supernova.
Out of like the supernovas that are main characters, i.e. Law and Kid, like he's up there for one of my favorite supernovas. And it was sad to see him go down that way as an underling of Kaido that wasn't even that high up the ranks. I was sad about that.
I'm surprised you asked me that question though, Brock, because like I felt like with Hawkins is, just to give you the benefit of the doubt here, his defeat in my eyes, because it was a matter of that arm came off. He obviously hit Hawkins in the area where he knew that's not going to affect Kid. So here's what I'm going to do.
So the only reason I bring that up is, one, he's a supernova.
Yes.
And they're very heavily involved in the new world and the new generation. And maybe this is more of a hope. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen by any means, but I think it is possible that he could come to, because One Piece characters are tough motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And he'll see that the chances that he relied on weren't going the way he thought they were. And maybe, like the Germa 66 members, slight twinge of change. Maybe we're not relying so much on fate. And maybe learning from this experience.
outside of Law, we really haven't seen and Kid, I guess, in a sense. We haven't really seen a Supernova become a Grand Fleet member or serve under Luffy in any capacity. I think Hawkins would be an interesting choice to be the first. I'd rather see, like, Law pledge allegiance to Luffy or, like, Kid.
Well, that's never going to happen. I feel like they're going to be like Bellamy and just be like...
We've talked... Well, Bellamy is Grand Fleet.
Remember what he said, though? He's like, I'm not going to work under you, but if you need help, I'll come help you.
Right, but he's...
Or essentially just like, I need to go do my own thing.
He's an associate to the Grand Fleet.
I will take a bit of that Vivre card.
Yeah. I think that's where Law at least would stand, is as an associate ally, but never as an underling.
I mean, we kind of mentioned that.
Well,
like,
Luffy doesn't have underlings. That's his whole thing. That's why he'd want to become
his underlings... They force themselves. They force on him their underling status.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, it's just Luffy saying, "Yeah, go do your own thing."
No, for sure. No. Well, what I'm saying is though,
like I don't think you would ever need.
No. What I'm saying is they would never consider themselves under Luffy. They would always. It would be a matter of association and ally.
And I'm agreeing that Luffy, I don't think would ever see them that way. Which is why it could work in the story that they would serve with Luffy.
Oh, for sure. No, absolutely. They would. I think in the end, a lot of them would take his side.
Yeah.
Should be super cool.
It's hard for me to know because with Doflamingo, right? All of his underlings, none of them moved over to Luffy's side.
But Baby 5 did find happiness.
And I guess she technically did actually.
Yeah, she's
marriage
with the Grand Fleet,
with
Sai,
right?
Yeah,
so
she's with the Grand Fleet.
You know what? I'll put it out there because I think it's really cool. I love a dead character, unfortunately. But the brother sister, Pei and
Page One,
Page One and Ulti. Honestly, of all of the underlings, I could see those two orphans because they were taken in by Kaido. I could see them switching over to Luffy's side and being powerhouses for him. If Yamato can, I feel like they could too. Just because I feel like they're the least. You must be a beast pirate. Like, they're very free spirits.
I don't know. Ulti kind of did give that vibe when she almost...
No, I mean, I completely agree on that throat. I'm not denying any of that. I think...
I wouldn't say...
Here's the thing about it is...
All the
just about everyone, with the exception of the top performers, and Queen's a little bit iffy because I don't know as much about him.
Sure.
They didn't give off the feeling of true loyalty to Kaido. It was more of like... By following Kaido, I will gain status and strength.
Yeah.
So I don't think, especially those two, and I felt that way about a lot of the Flying Six. None of them were truly like complete to the death loyal to Kaido. Mm-hmm. I think they follow him because of his strength, but if he gets beaten, I can see them placing either loyalties or trying things out for themselves elsewhere.
I also think that's why it's interesting with those two because they weren't technically really beaten by the Straw Hats. They were beaten by Big Mom in a sense, largely. Except for Ulti at the very end with that attack from Nami. But, that's forgivable in my opinion. Big Mom beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because of Kaido's alliance with her.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm saying I would be very happy to have at least a couple of the super cool members of Kaido's crew, not the worst people in the world either, coming over.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing evil shit. Page One did a little evil shit. But, Ulti was just hanging out.
Page One?
He destroyed all the Soba shop owners. Yeah, that's fair. Kind of being a dick as a Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Looking for Sanji.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, again, Ulti? I see no reason.
I mean, her and Pei will go anywhere together, I think.
Exactly. And Pei will be like, no, I'll go wherever, I guess. Fine. She'd be like, Pei. He's like, me, I'll go try and thing. Big sister. But, yeah.
No, I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
I think, but like I said, I think there's a lot of possibility there for growth now for Hawkins because we had this whole off-screen arc for him of there's zero hope.
A lot of converse.
Gotta do this to survive.
With law.
And then he got completely owned in a fight that he was sure he'd win, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Until that last card. And then when you do that last
card... I know, but up until
then,
he was sure he'd win.
Right.
And then suddenly the odds were not in his favor. And I think at that point he realizes that fate either turns on a dime and that you can't rely on it to the end.
Or fate serves someone that's not him.
Or maybe
which is kind of what Luffy seems to be like.
Don't rely on fate so much because none of the
only on fate.
Yeah, exactly. Because none of the guys who are successful in this pay attention to that at all. They focus on their own will and they focus on their own path. And I think he's going to see this
if he gets back up.
Yeah, that's literally one of the main
contingent
reasons.
on him getting back up. Right?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. I think it's either him getting back up during this or at the end.
I mean, if he doesn't, that's the first supernova to get like downed, right? Like Bonnie lost, but then she was back up every doing Bonnie shit. Like,
yeah, I really want to see more of Bonnie.
I think there's a lot going on with Bonnie.
She's obviously has some connections.
Connection with an island, connection with Kuma.
I've been going back and forth on this, just whether
Do
to
it.
bring it up.
Show us, tell us.
But so like obviously we're talking about Hawkins getting up, and that's not to say he won't do stuff after.
No, for sure.
After a concussion.
Cover story.
You do have certain people still who think the raid is going to fail. One of them being
holding out.
One of them being I actually watched one of his videos, and this is no way to make fun of him. I just wanted to discuss.
Oh yeah, it's talking about someone else's opinion.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Mr. Morge was one of the ones, and I don't watch a lot of his content. Just occasionally I'll watch something, and I remember that he's one of the ones who is still holding out that the raid's going to end in failure. And one of the main reasons that he still holds to that, even as of this chapter, as far as I could tell, is because we are dealing with an army of zones. And the reason he keeps making that such a big deal is because the first actual instance of awakening that we were introduced to was back in Impelled Down.
4 zones.
4 zones, especially. Because you had the Minotaurus and all these other, these Zebra, 4 monster guards that were beaten by Luffy quite easily, for him. But then they were getting back up.
They were reviving.
They were reviving. They have a resilience to the damage that they take, and they get back up fast.
Given enough time.
And Mr. Morge is wondering in his head, he's just like, why on earth wouldn't Queen or Toby Ropo members,
the strongest beast pirate Zoan users,
pirates not have some, at least one awakened zone among their ranks that could possibly get back up?
I am of the opinion that I'm of the opinion that the main reason that those beasts got back up is because they were dealing with a pre-time skip Luffy.
Okay.
I think now that Luffy is essentially Yonko level,
Luffy, Sanji, Zoro,
like Sanji and Zoro's unlocked conquerors of the advanced degree. Sanji's essentially a fucking superhero. I think.
Yes, he's got super.
Oh, sorry, I just got a Charlie horse. Holy shit.
Oh,
woo!
Careful.
I'm good. That was weird. Damn.
rough.
You heard that here, folks. Anyways.
Lie.
But anyway,
there you have it, folks. Charlie horses.
Here's the thing. You got.
Sorry.
Thanks, Jameson.
Yeah.
No, I think that aspect has been explored for the entire arc, because for the entire arc, it's been literally saying like, God, these guys are tough. These guys are really tough. They keep getting back up. I think we've been dealing with that.
No, for sure.
I think we've gotten so much of that through the arc that this is our. I think this is the fight with Kaido. I don't think they're getting back up for a while.
I think it's really, and again, I really like Mr. Morge's theories because they are so out there, and I enjoy them.
Yeah, for sure.
Really fucking do.
Yeah.
So this is nothing against you, Mr. Morge.
Absolutely
Appreciate
not.
your content. Appreciate your tinfoil hat theories. We do the same thing here sometimes. But at the same time, and he holds that every single one of like the Toby Ropo and the All-Stars, they will just pop back up, and the tragedy of the third act, right, will be them then, seriously damaging the Straw Hats, and then that's the end of the act, and then we go into like this revived new power, the true power of the Beast Pirates, which, in my opinion, would be badass as hell. But is that too much Wano? Maybe.
Here's the thing. I think the raid itself is going to succeed. I think the tragedy of the arc is going, if it happens, is going to...
That's a big if.
It is.
If that happens, it's going to stem from the involvement of the world government.
I think someone could die at the end of Act 3 if we're going to have an Act 4.
But like, I mean, the world government's way in there. Aegis is involved.
Yeah.
I think the Beast Pirates are being beaten. I think this is going to be everyone's weak. Let's swoop in. I think that's when tragedy, if it happens, is going to happen.
Yeah.
That would make the most sense to me, just because the fights. Like, okay, so the fights with King and Queen, I've seen a lot of people being like how they're super short. But if you've read One Piece from the get-go, most One Piece fights are about that long. Because usually what happens is they go back and forth kind of on and off screen, on and off panel, quite a few chapters, and then you finally get to the chapter where it has the meat of the end of the fight. And then the anime tends to expound on a lot of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I
because it takes you what, like on average 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to read a One Piece chapter, and they've got to stretch out that material for
exactly, and that's why I contend that these are perfectly reasonably length fights, because that's why by the end of these fights, all 4 of these guys are at their limit. It's because they've been going at this for a while. They've been going at they've been technically going at these fights for many chapters.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen them the entire time. And that's how mangas tend to work. That's how comics tend to work. And that's why we got to the point where they're all beaten up, where they've been taking these hits.
And like I pointed out to you, Alex, you didn't start really reading the manga until...
Wano, I started in Wano.
Yeah, you started reading the manga in Wano, so it's just like the last time we had fights of this magnitude for any of our characters was back on Dressrosa.
Sure. Yeah. And anime makes that all seem super long, but I understand in manga format it's probably much quicker.
But that is to say...
And week by week makes it feel so much longer.
But
for sure.
And that is to say also just like the arcs of... Specifically Sanji. The arcs of specifically Sanji and Zoro. Mm-hmm. They got these huge power-ups. These power-ups are too huge, in my opinion, to not have taken these guys out. Advanced level Conqueror's Haki... super human abilities that send both these guys flying off this island way down below. I contend that there's no way they're getting back up. And also, Todoroki taken down by Big Mom, like hit by Big Mom.
Yeah. Well, like the thing with King especially is like he might heal from that wound. Maybe. But like that was a massive blow.
Like it was a big old like, Conqueror's Haki.
That is a chunk of his identity as a Lunarian that Zoro just like cut off.
Well, like look, if you survive me, I'll scar you so bad you'll never forget.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which he already did to Kaido.
No, exactly.
And that's why
King's not taking the scar here.
Each fight, they were each defeat, I should say. They got defeated by someone of at least a warlord level or higher, which I think anyone of that level could easily defeat those guys in Impel Down, for one.
Sure.
Which is why I don't think they're getting back up, because they all fought people that like freaking Robin's devil move. Oh yeah. I'm not thinking Black Maria's getting back up from that.
Black Maria gets up from that. Fuck that.
Like honestly, I would be upset.
Well, we've run away from Black Maria.
I believe I would be super, and also I don't think when Oda declares something, that's usually the case. Mm-hmm. When he declared he declared Sanji the victor. Mm-hmm. That means in my eyes, Queen's down for the count. He's not a part of the raid anymore. I think the same thing's gonna happen with King. I don't think they're getting back up.
Yeah.
This is a long episode.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I just put it out there.
That's light. That's fine.
It's just so funny how a chapter of very similar lengths to past chapters.
I just
so much.
I had to bring that up just because.
Sure.
I saw that Mr. Morge.
It's definitely
and I needed to understand because I kept seeing Reddit comments that he was one of the few that is still holding out that this raid will end in failure, and you just want to go why? Why does somebody still think that?
I like his theory. I like the fact that
it's a good theory.
Well, here's the thing, right? I think what Morge is doing is he's trying to predict the unpredictable, which is Oda's style. He does shit we don't expect. So when we say what we expect, that's probably not going to happen, except rarely when it does. Good job, Brock, on the fucking Sanji call.
I mean, I don't know. I usually...
But like, yeah,
Usually there's a system Oda has, and like a lot of the time, especially in terms of arc format,
Trice helicopter?
it's pretty easy to see. I said arc format. I never said anything about the powers involved. Okay, I don't touch that shit. I don't touch that shit. That's just
We're just here for it.
That's out of my depth. I just enjoy the ridiculousness of it because it's so One Piece.
Oh, it is.
No, generally the arcs have a format that is usually pretty easy to see.
They have a formula.
They have a formula,
And his
and so far
formulas
it's
work.
stayed true.
I've never thought that they were tired. Like some people,
yeah.
I see comments sometimes where people are just like, "Oh, Oda's so tired. He uses the same formula over and over again." It's just like
But the details are so different.
because the details are different.
Characters
and
are different.
Characters
And
are
they're
different.
very
And
different.
their
The stories are
stories are different. And it's just like I don't care that usually like. With Zoro's formulaic. He's always seeking to fight the second strongest person on any crew that they're fucking fighting.
He usually has a sword.
Usually has a sword.
Not necessarily a swordsman, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's
got kicked in the
formulas
face,
to a
too.
bunch of these people's fights. Sanji has always won with kicks, except for the ramen dude.
Ramen dude got knives.
Ramen dude actually got knives for once.
He
but
caught
it's
these
like-
knives.
But
He caught these knives.
Oda is just like thinking about it, and I keep doing this because but it's the truth. This is my favorite fictional thing ever, and that is so hard for me to say when for years I've been obsessed with Lord of the Rings and Avatar,
So many others.
and so many other things. But like those were my two, I would say, is Avatar: The Last Airbender and Lord of the Rings. When it comes to storytelling, were always my favorite.
Remember when you didn't give One Piece a chance and you're into Naruto? And then
Yeah.
I totally flipped your world
No,
upside down?
and like that's the thing is like viewers at home. If you like
Yeah.
Naruto, I'm not knocking Naruto.
No, I enjoy Naruto,
I
yeah.
still appreciate Naruto.
Boruto sucks.
Boruto sucks. don't get me started.
Let's not get on that.
I will throw hands on that one.
Killed Kurama, bitches.
Spoilers.
I'll put a bleep in there.
I'm-
Fuck you guys,
I'm
though.
kidding. But yeah, no, I remember like. For those of you who don't know, Brock is the one who got me to watch One Piece. He got most of us to watch One Piece.
By connection.
By connection.
D&D got me into it weirdly, but yes.
Yeah. But One Piece is just... It's phenomenal. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I have my moments. Like the Kinemon stuff. Like, I got over it a little bit more so than, like, say, Roger's Base. Roger's Base took a lot more issue with the way Kinemon was still shown to be alive.
Shout out.
Shout out Roger's Base, shout out Mr. Morge. We got a lot of One Piece people that we also enjoy their
We
content.
appreciate you guys.
But One Piece is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, I'll call Oda on, like, things I don't like, but ultimately, like...
As a consumer, you should, right?
Yeah, but ultimately, he's created this sprawling world and these amazing characters who feel lifelike.
Yeah.
To me. And that's one of the main reasons like I get so invested in just Luffy in general, because Luffy is so fucking consistent as a character.
Oh, yeah.
Every move he makes, eventually, even if like in the moment you don't understand his logic, eventually you understand every decision he's ever made.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Like there are so many times where I got frustrated with Naruto as a protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
But Monkey D. Luffy has never frustrated me.
Yeah.
Not truly. So, I don't know. Long-winded, but I just...
No,
man.
Love Yoda. Love your story.
It's absolutely...
Like, literally 36 chapters ago, we hit 1,000.
Yeah.
And we were all freaking out about 1,000.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And it's...
I dread
the
the day.
The same cycle I see with readers is obviously when you're reading week to week, obviously things are going to feel slow.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Or too quick.
Especially
right?
if you're a One Punch Man fan. God damn.
But
I'm waiting
But
months.
I guarantee when Wano is officially over, people are going to put it up there with Marineford. With
That's
Water
above
7,
for me.
Water
it's above.
7 and Enies Lobby levels of just such good writing, such good character development.
In my opinion, it's almost like the Big Brother of Enies Lobby. I'm always comparing this raid to Enies Lobby because a lot of the formula we see is like right there.
I don't need Wano to be different. The only thing I'm missing from it is like an admiral or admirals, which is what made Marineford special.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't want those things in Wano. That wouldn't be Wano.
It wouldn't feel right.
But that's the only thing that would compare for a Marineford, where the world government's top 3 powers are there, right? But still,
like it's an all-out war between so many different people.
You have the warlords, you had the admirals, you had a Yonko, like holy.
The beard of
and
white.
Luffy was just a tiny little piece
and
of
Oda and his editor insist that the final war it'll blow Marineford out of the water. And like if I'm loving Wano almost more than Marineford at this point, like I don't even want to imagine.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I want to imagine, but like
you don't have to. Eventually, it'll be here.
It'll be here one day.
But I do dread the day that to be continued changes to the end. I really do. Because it won't be.
It's coming.
It won't be long enough.
It's coming.
Every fucking One Piece fan will be like, it was too short, despite how very long of an anime it was. They'll all be like,
I think we'll be
manga too.
I think we'll be more bittersweetly satisfied than say like when Martin talks about the ending of Game of Thrones. Will be bittersweet.
I have so much confidence in Oda. I really do.
I have so much confidence.
And I think I will be thankful at the end, but I guarantee you I'm still going to have a million questions I want answered.
No.
But I think that's the beauty of the world, right? You don't truly ever know everything.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to.
And that speculation hypothesis can go on forever afterwards.
Absolutely. For sure.
Love it.
Okay.
I think that's a solid place to leave.
That's a good
10:35.
place to be done.
Yeah.
So, we will see you all next week
for 10:36.
And have a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Foxy.
No. Alright, listeners, that concludes this episode of the Yonko Podcast. Well, that might be the end of the lead performers. Their performance may not have been leading, but damn, they went down in a blaze of glory. I salute you, face cards. Good show. With that, see you all next time on the Yonko Podcast, Chapter Review 1036. Alright, boys, we're off.